WrestleReunion. We really appreciate it. Thank y'all. I want to say a couple of things about everybody up here. Sal's not here, the man who really is responsible for WrestleReunion. So I'd like to say a couple of things about everybody at the table, if I may, because I've worked with everybody at the table through the years, and in a different way, everybody means so much to me that helped us get to where we are today. And thank you guys. Give yourself a nice round of applause for giving us the opportunity to be among y'all all the time. Y'all have been awesome. I'm going to start over here with Coco Birdman Beware, okay? Back in Memphis, Tennessee, one of the first tag teams that Jerry Lawler gave me to manage was the PYT Express, the Pretty Young Things, which was Coco Beware and Norvell Austin. And it was such a thrill to meet these guys because they were so great in the ring and out of the ring too. But Coco, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the memories, which has helped me get into the Hall of Fame with people like Coco. Mean Gene Oakland, oh my gosh. So first of all, I had a pleasure of working with him a year ago at which was up in what was it? Up in Palm Springs. We had Pat Patterson, Mean Gene Oakland. We had Howard Finkel. We also had Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Roddy Piper, Hillbilly Jim, and myself. I'm not going to leave anybody out. Tony Atlas is with us too. Knobs knows it better than I do because we talked about it every day. But it's called Legends House, so hopefully they'll find a place for it on TV this next year. I heard there were some rumors out that a couple of the stations were looking at it as of last week, so hopefully that comes. But Mean Gene saved us so many times, no matter what interviews I did, whether it was with the Honky Tonk Man or the Hulkster or Rougeau Brothers or whoever. Every time we flipped, fumbled, and fall, he was always there to pick us up. So thank you, Mean Gene. We love you. The Demolition never had a chance really to manage these guys, but they okayed a song that my partner and I wrote called for the Demolition song, and Rick Derringer sang lead on it, which was great. Cyndi Lauper, matter of fact, sang a little backup on it, believe it or not. She did that for us too. And so I want to thank you guys for okaying that song because Vince went to them. If they didn't like the song, it would have never been out. So thank you guys so much, so much, so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh, the Nasty Boys, holy moly. You know, now we had Earthquake and Typhoon, they were great. The Hart Foundation, love them. Rougeau Brothers, phenomenal. Terry and Dory Funk, a little out there, love these guys, but the list goes on and on and on and on. But I have to say, the Nasty Boys, I had more fun with them. It was never a dull moment in life. What's that saying? Every day's a Saturday and every night's a Friday night.
Every day's a Friday, every night's a Saturday.
And it was with the Nasty Boys. I love these guys. Seriously, so much fun for them. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Bobby the Brain Heenan, let me tell you, undoubtedly the greatest. The greatest, the greatest, the greatest. I had a pleasure of going to New York from Memphis, Tennessee. And back then, we didn't have the New York stations that we could feed off of and watch what some of the managers did. So I'd always go out and I'd buy the wrestling magazines. And Bobby was on the covers. He was on every page because he managed the who's who of wrestling. And he was the greatest. When he was doing all the stuff with Gorilla Monsoon, he would put us over so much and make us sometimes bigger and better than what we really were. Bobby, love you. God bless you for everything you've done to this business. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The greatest of all time, Bobby the Brain. I will accept that. I'll accept that with honor. Thank you. The dress rooms every night made everybody laugh, kept the spirits up on everything we ever did. And on the main events, he was always on the main events. I'd always be peeking out that curtain to see if I could steal something that he used to do that I might could use down the line without him beating me up for it. But Bobby the Brain, love you. But everybody up there,
somebody's got to say something about Jimmy Hart.
Oh, please, no.
Wait a minute, for coming into the WWE or WWF at the time, me and Knobs when we found out Jimmy Hart was going to be our manager. Oh my God, because you go back, Jimmy Hart, the Gentrys, his rock and roll band, he was on the Sunset Strip in the 60s with the Yardbirds, the Doors, all the great bands. Then, through the legendary thing of wrestling, when he did the whole thing with Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler that came out of Memphis, and that crew that came out of Memphis, and the knowledge Jimmy has all the years in the business, it's like the greatest thing that could happen to me and Knobs. He's like an encyclopedia of wrestling and wrestling knowledge to have as your manager, and all those ribs of having us at TV 17 hours early and waking us up in the morning and early for everything. We'll never forget it, Jimmy.
Hardest working man in show business.
Tell the one greatest story about, I'll let y'all tell it, you know, at the when we were in Boston at the Ramada Inn and the whole thing.
No.
No. Tell the one story when I said, that's it.
Jimmy,
We came, you know, we all stayed. First, we got to WWF. It was our first 10-day road trip. So Jimmy Hart said, hey, why don't you guys, we'll all get together in a car and go and do everything and room together and everything. So we split a room for 10 days. The last day, it was in Boston, and about 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, me and Sag came stumbling up drunk and had a party, woke Jimmy up, and that morning at the airport, he went, I love you guys, but next road trip, you're on your own. They showed us the ropes, and now God bless you. I'll see you. Last time he stayed in that. 10 years on the road with us, and he said, hell no, I'm never doing that again.
Nasty boys, everybody up here is so great, meant so much to me on everything. Coco, do you have me and Gene, I know you've got at least one little story that you can share with the people out here from anything that Bobby did to you or anything like that. If you could come up with something, or Coco or whatever. I'm trying to get Sal here real quick. If you can do that for me.
I'd be more than happy to. Except I've got nothing to say. The only thing he did to me was give me a hot foot. That was on the 15th floor of the Omni Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. And it didn't smell like powder. It smelled like something that's grown in fields. Flax, right? Rope? It covered your ass. Now I'm cold.
Well, it was everything's great. So I don't know what to say. Thank you very much. But you got a quick story? Coco's got a quick story.
Yeah, he does. With Bobby Heenan, oh my God, this was a classic. We was in L.A. Had this big show at the sports arena. That night, for some reason, Bobby wanted to mess with Jake the Snake. You know, put a rib on him. So Bobby grabbed the snake. It was inside the bag. He would grab the snake, the bag, the whole thing, and Bobby was holding it over his head, and he dropped the bag. He kept picking it up, and he kept dropping the bag. And boy, the snake was moving inside the bag, wanted to get out. Bobby said, look, y'all. Look here, y'all. He dropped the bag. Bam. Jake was in the other room, you know. And then by the time the match started, in fact, he was wrestling against Andre the Giant that night. So by the time Jake came out and pulled the snake out of the bag, well, the snake was madder than ever, man. He come out, man, just back and forth. He's probably like on his tail, you know, back and forth. And when Andre was looking, Andre moved. He just took one step, and the snake came all the way across and hit Andre on the shoulder, and Andre cleared that whole ring. And boy, Andre was running back to the doctor. Doctor, I need a shot. The snake done bit me.
Bobby's got another personal appearance to go to it. Let's give him a nice round of All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to have the Q&A. So I'm going to kind of come out here and we'll kind of repeat the questions for them in case they don't do them right. But anybody you want to ask anything to up here, we'll make it work. Anybody raise your hands? We'll do it by hands. And everybody, what's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, who's the question for up here? Up for me, okay.
Do you have any input on who you got to manage?
You know what? I don't know, other than just I think Vince back in the day, and Lawler too, that I would really hustle, and he knew if they had a team or individual wrestler, it might be a little hard to get up, like the Nasty Boys, or get them to the ring. He'd always put me with those people, you know, like the God Bless Dino Bravo and the Rougeau brothers. So sometimes that might have worked on me taking care of them like that. But you know, I guess they put the different managers with who they thought they would work the best with. So I was blessed. Everybody they put me with, I'll tell you that now. Another question? Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Brian. It's for the Nasty Boys.
All right.
What's the best rib you either pulled on each other or on someone else?
Oh my God.
Best rib.
Well, one that Sag pulled on me, the SOB, was we get drinking, you know, and this was when we were at WCW, and every night we go, well, you want to go to Waffle House? And then I would always tell him, yeah, go pick me this up, this, and I'd order like $40 worth of stuff, and when he come back with it, I was always sleeping, and it went to waste. In the morning, he goes, well, there's your stuff over there. I paid for it. You didn't eat it. And he goes, now what are you going to do? You're going to eat it now? And that's cold. I don't eat it now. So I did it to him about 3 times, 4 times. And finally, the last time, you know, I never did it again after this. I went, okay, yeah, SOB. You did it to me again. Everything from eggs, I ordered the scattered, covered, smothered, and chunked for the Waffle House. I had, you know, pancakes. He put it all in bed with me. When I woke up, I had eggs plastered here, and, you know, the hash browns from nowhere, and I don't want to tell you. The breakfast was all over me. I woke up and what the hell's going on? And he's over there sleeping with a smile on his face. Son of a bitch.
No, and he goes, I go, yeah, I gave you, you were awake when I came in. I handed you your food, then you started eating. I couldn't remember how it happened.
Me and Gene must have to.
Yeah, I'd like to tell, share some of my experiences in my travels with the Nasty Boys. Legends, along with Mr. Fuji, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, and quite a cast of others that were not afraid to play ribs. We're on a plane on the way from Toronto to Vancouver, and I believe it was on Air Canada. And our illustrious president, Jack Tunney, was on board, sitting up in business class. And Sags and Knobs had a little vial that if you would open it up and sprinkle it, it had a horrible odor to it. Smelled like somebody had an accident. But anyway, Knobs goes in the restroom, very small restrooms on airplanes, as we all know. Oh. Jack Tunney, in the meantime, stinking it up. Knobs comes around, sees a flight attendant, and he says, "Oh, God, that smells horrible." He says, "I just threw up in the laboratory." To make a long story short, they cleaned all the first class out. Everybody sat in the back of the plane.
Hey, where we learned about those that stink bomb and all that kind of stuff was Mr. Perfect. Kurt Hennig showed us all that when we were young in the business. He used to go to these magic shops. One of the most infamous things in Florida here, there's a referee. His name was Mickey J, and he was a heavy smoker. And he'd come out, run back right to the locker room after his match, and he couldn't breathe. He'd go for a cigarette. So Kurt had showed us these cigarette loaves. It was like a little salute you'd stick and put in the end of the cigarette. Mickey J would come back and drink this thing, two puffs, and it'd blow up in his face. And he'd go, "You son of a bitch!" And his cigarette would explode in his hand, and he'd have the whole, and it'd blow up right in his face. He'd be so mad. And Kurt's magic kit also was this itching powder. Oh, God. It's like insulation. So I had some of this itching powder one time, and we just broke, you know him as Paul White, the Giant. His first day in the business with WCW. So he had his first match and everything. He sort of has this big thing, and I go, well, you know, it's time for Paul to have the underwear were this big hanging on the wall. So me and Knobs took his underwear and filled his underwear full of Kurt's itching powder. You know what I mean? And all that. The next day he came in, somebody, I don't know if somebody told him or something, he attacked me and got my underwear, gave me a wedgie, and he ripped my underwear past my head. He goes, "You son of a bitch." I scratched a whole 4-hour trip. He's itching his everything. He's going crazy. You know, he's a giant in the car and shaking around. So I ended up getting the giant wedgie. My underwear ripped off, everything. Kurt's magic trick, all kind of tricks like that.
It was like passed down. Kurt passed it down to us, but we thought Kurt was the infamous Mr. Fuji, who was very, like these guys can tell you, he put some heavy duty ribs. I mean, he could go a little bit overboard sometimes.
Well, one rib Kurt did that started off the whole thing is, you know, all the guys would sit in the back of the plane, and Kurt at one time had a first class seat, and one of the flight attendants was really a bad flight attendant, and she was a little overweight. So Kurt went up into the baggage deal and got some of the stink perfume. When she walked by, he threw some on her. The back of her dress. And then you can see Kurt looking back down the deal, laughing, you know, like. So all the guys are watching this, and every time she walked down the aisle down the back, it was like she pooped her pants. Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of ribs like that.
If I may, and this will be a final for me. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Brian and Jerry. You were traveling with the nefarious Mr. Fuji, and on this particular trip there was a rock and roll band. Am I correct, or a heavy metal band?
I don't know which one.
And then there was this thing out there. It was called G something, you know. But anyway, it would screw you up, and some of our troops were imbibing a little, getting goofy. And the rock and rollers thought they could party with the wrestlers. They loaded them up on this GHB, and